Well, that's a big question. First of all, of course, you have to decide that it would be important for artists to come into the classroom to work with kids and to help them find new creative ways of thinking or doing things or solving problems. And if you think that it would be a good thing to do, to bring artists into the classroom, then you would have to give them some sort of a training, because not every artist, of course, is good in working with children and doesn't want to work with children. So to find out whether you want to work with children and how to do that, you have to learn, you have to experience and learn a number of things. Of course, an artist doesn't have to become a teacher, but he does have to know how to translate his artwork and his being an artist into projects or activities with children. So he needs to, I think he needs to know something about pedagogics and didactics, but he also has to know how a school works, how you communicate with school, what the goals are for the school, learning goals for the school with the children, and the artist has to learn to add to that process, I think.
Yeah, and to add to that, I think a lot of artists need to be able to stop being an artist once they're in their classroom and start being an observer of the children. They have to kind of zoom into the children before they can be an artist again, because they need to know where the children are, what the children need, what their questions are, what their challenges are, and then he has to translate his knowledge or her knowledge of the arts or the creative process to what that child needs from them. So sometimes artists are just too busy being an artist and doing things, and because they're very practical people. And I always tell them, once in a while you have to just stop being active and sit and observe the people that you work with, and that will give you so much information that you'll be much more effective in your work as a teacher, as an artist teacher.
But that's true, but I also think that the artist should stay an artist, because when an artist comes into school, something different happens, something exciting happens, it's something strange, this weird artist doing other things than we normally do. So this sort of a positive shock effect is very important, because it brings creativity and it brings children to be more daring, and for instance, like shy children, suddenly, because there is this strange artist in the classroom, they suddenly think, oh yeah, I can be different now, and that's okay. So there is a balance for the artist when he should be artist, yeah, or should be more an observer, and that is what you have to learn in practice as an artist, together with the school and the teachers.
Very much so. I think sometimes you're a role model as an artist, an example to children, so hey, I can be also maybe an artist in my future. But I think as an artist, a professional artist that does activities in a classroom, they should not aspire to become just another teacher. Teaching is a different thing, is in a different profession. You need different skills, you need different knowledge to be a teacher. But you need to partner up with a teacher to be able to be an artist in that classroom, and at the same time work in that school environment. So you have to also be able to partner up with the teacher and not try and do their job, if you understand what I'm saying. So I think one of the abilities or one of the skills that you need is to prepare for, before you go into the class, you need to connect to the teacher and see what you and the teacher together can do as partners for that class. And the teacher will give you a lot of information. Some of it is very usable, some of it is less usable for you as an artist, but you need to partner with that teacher to be able to do your job well.
So the teacher also has to learn to work together with the artist, because they have to develop their language together, so that the teacher will see that his pupils grow in working with the artist, and the artist has a feeling that what he brings into the classroom also has a effect on the creativity of the child. So it should be a win-win situation. So they have to know what each other's goals are, and they have to match the goals. So that's very important.
Today you have talking to Norwegian artists and cultural administrators from around Europe. What are the most important topics you have been into? What did you tell them?
Well, we didn't tell them. I did have a presentation about a training we developed. I'm from Amsterdam, and in Holland, we 10 years ago we started developing a training, a one-year training for professional artists that are interested in working with children in elementary schools. And I explained how we developed that curriculum for the one-year training and how it was financed and what benefits the artists had from following the training and how it worked and how happy, how satisfied the schools are with these artists who did that training. I'm a big advocate of organizing training for artists to learn how to work with children in schools, not to make them teachers, but how to learn the language of the school, of the teachers, learn what a curriculum is, learn how you can use creativity also in working on mathematics or language, because that is very much so. You can make a combination of being creative, learning creativity, and at the same time learning the subjects that you have to learn in school. So I was the advocate of organizing a training and developing a curriculum in countries where artists are working with children in schools, and that doesn't exist in the other countries where we were talking about with today.
Yes, and my contribution today was to explain to the people that were there how the Amsterdam model of cultural education works, where in Amsterdam, to make it a very short one, the schools get their own budget from the council to buy cultural activities for their children, and they are totally free to spend that budget on whatever they want. And since Amsterdam is a really rich finding place for cultural education, there's lots to choose from. Every school can build their own program for cultural education, which makes a city within the national context and also the international context pretty unique, because in most cities in Holland, other cities, it is the culture educators who get the money to make the programs, and not the schools who get the money to choose. They don't have their own budget for that.